If you've been following along on our trip across the country to Oregon, welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are concluding our Oregon road trip with a beautiful coastal hike on the Indian Beach Trail in Ecola State Park near Cannon Beach. Unlike the misty, moody days the Oregon coast is known for, on this day we lucked out with a perfect summer day. Blue skies, warm sunshine, and clear views all the way to the horizon. So come along as we take in the breathtaking views of the Oregon coast on our final hike of this unforgettable adventure. The Indian Beach Trail is about 1.5 miles one way, winding through a beautiful coastal forest filled with towering Sitka spruces, dense ferns, and moss-covered logs before opening up to incredible ocean views. That makes it a 3-mile round trip with some elevation changes and a few rocky and rooted sections adding to the adventure. Along the way, you'll catch glimpses of the coastline through the trees and hear the distant roar of the waves long before you see them. Ecola State Park stretches 9 miles along the Oregon coast, offering everything from hiking and tide pooling to surfing and wildlife spotting. It's a great place to see elk grazing in the meadows, bald eagles soaring overhead, and even migrating gray whales during the certain times of year. The park is also home to a section of the Oregon Coast Trail which extends along the entire coastline, and the Clatsop Loop Trail which follows in the footsteps of the Lewis and Clark expedition.
This is our last day in Oregon. It's actually probably our last hike in Oregon. And these types of hikes in the Pacific Northwest are definitely my favorite. Like the coastal ones, where the mountains meet the ocean, are just so incredibly beautiful to me. Like being on top of a mountain and be able to overlook like the seashore. It's just
the smells, the weather.
Ocean. It's like 65 degrees outside, and it's just perfect. It's the perfect hike.
It is. You can't ever go wrong with a coastal hike. If you've never done it, highly recommend it.
Yes. In the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful.
What really sets the Pacific Northwest coast apart is how wildly different it is from the beaches we grew up with in the Southeast. Instead of flat, sandy shores lined with palm trees, you get dramatic cliffs plunging into the ocean, sea stacks rising from the waves, and dense evergreen forests that stretch right to the water's edge, with the salty air carrying the scent of spruce and cedar. It's truly so beautiful.
So what was your favorite moment or memory on this trip so far?
I thought Columbia River Gorge was beautiful. This hike has been beautiful. Like, I've really enjoyed this day, being on the coast.
God's Thumb wasn't your favorite?
Oh, God.
Because a while back you said God's Thumb with your favorite.
They've all been my favorite. It's been a good trip. I've liked every moment. It's been beautiful.
It has.
What's your favorite?
The things that stood out to me so far on this trip was Smith Rocks. That rattlesnake thing was my favorite thing, I think, so far on this trip. And seeing the puffins was really cool. So Smith Rocks was probably up there for me. The Trail of Ten Falls was really cool too. I think Smith Rocks is my favorite though. God's Thumb was really cool, so it's like tied neck and neck with God's Thumb and Smith Rocks for me. We got a lot more to explore here.
Yeah.
Not even, we got to hit the south part of the coast. That borders like right on the edge of like Northern California.
Yeah, because you can see redwoods down there.
So that's well, next year I'm guessing we're gonna hit, if God willing, we'll hit California, and we'll have to hit that part.
In the redwoods.
Yeah. So it's definitely gonna be happening. So we'll be back to Oregon at some point. We got a lot more to see for sure. I honestly forgot all about the incredible view up there at Crater Lake National Park. So that has to be in my top 3 too.
We did do that.
I forgot all about it because we didn't get to spend much time there because a lot of the stuff we wanted to do was closed because of the wildfire. So we only got to do one hike and then the epic drive through the park. But man, even if you only have time to do one hike, it's definitely worth the drive out there. That view you're never going to see anywhere else. Like, you got to see it. If you're in Oregon, plan a trip to go there. Even if it's just to go to the lodge and look at the view, it is incredible.
The rim drive will have you white knuckling it though.
Yeah.
That was scary for
Hanging
me.
like, yeah, but I was on the passenger seat filming, and I was like, all I got to do is look over and see the bottom of the hill, like the mountain or volcano, whatever you want to call it, and it was
that made me want to throw up. Driving that road.
It was fun though.
Yeah, cool. So we had lunch at, where was it, Pelican Brew Company?
Yeah.
And we both got fish and chips.
That was some of the best cod I've ever had.
It was so, like, they did perfect.
It had the crunch
on the coating, the crispy, crunchy coating.
The crunch was probably the best crunch I've ever had. So if you're looking for some good fish and chips and you're at Cannon Beach, check out Pelican Brew Company. They have some amazing food.
And the coleslaw was good. Had like sunflower seeds and pineapple in it. It's different, but it was really good. I liked it.
Yeah, sunflower seeds were kind of added like a little hardiness to it, I guess. Also the meals there, they're probably like, I think our meals a piece were like $23 a piece or something like that. So
it was up there. Just
in case you're trying to do it on a budget, maybe try something else, but you're probably looking at for two people at least, like what did we pay, like what, $60, something like that. So with drink and a Coke and the food and whatever. So yeah, it's definitely delicious though. So if you're looking for some really good codfish, check that place out.
From the park, you can overlook the town of Cannon Beach and the shoreline. You can see Haystack Rock in the distance. This park also has a bit of Hollywood history. The parking lot near the entrance was used in the 1985 film The Goonies, where the hideout scene was filmed just before the kids set off on their treasure hunt. A few years later, in 1990, Kindergarten Cop used the same spot for scenes of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character arriving in the small Oregon town where he'd go undercover as a teacher.
You know what's cool? The last time we visited the West in Washington, up here on the, ended it on a coastal hike as well. We did Cape Flattery the last time we were in this part of the U.S. We're pretty close to Washington right now, actually. Right? Like right up there. Yeah.
This is like Astoria,
the bottom part of Washington. So pretty cool how things turn out. And another cool thing that we didn't plan, our hotel that we stayed in, when I walked out this morning, every hotel room had a they had a picture with a famous location, and ours just so happened to be Cannon Beach, which is our last day here. Was to plan our big day of our number one thing we wanted to do was see Cannon Beach. So that was pretty cool. We stayed in probably probably 8 different hotels on this trip, and the last one said Cannon. So it was almost like it was meant to be. It's pretty neat that it happened that way.
There's some interesting history tied to this state park. In 1806, Captain William Clark and 12 members of the Corps of Discovery passed through what is now Ecola State Park while searching for a beached well near present-day Cannon Beach. Within the park, Indian Beach stretches along the coast, a place that was once home to several Tillamook villages where indigenous communities lived off the land and sea for generations.
So we've hiked a lot of really cool places, and I feel like if Sasquatch was anywhere, he would be in Washington or Oregon, somewhere in this type of environment, because it'd be hard to spot him. So, what do you think?
Yeah.
More than likely he would be in like Canada somewhere where like literally no one but loggers are, or something like that. But I don't believe in Sasquatch, but I'm just saying, if he were real, He'd probably be in Canada or somewhere like this. I don't think he'd be in the, like every state has a Sasquatch sign for some reason. Like they think he's in their state. So, it's like, he's not in Nebraska, sorry, he's not hiding in the cornfields. You know what I mean? They call that a nurse log.
Look at that roof.
Yeah, it's just coming down from the old
Fountain of youth.
Mm-hmm. So we got a dead tree, and then we have this tree that's growing literally, like if you look in right there, it's like growing into the old tree and then down. Some of them hanging off.
As we wrap up our hike here at Ecola State Park, standing at this overlook and watching the waves roll on, it feels like the perfect way to end our time in Oregon. This coastal hike has been nothing short of stunning. Lush forests, towering cliffs, and endless ocean views. Seeing surfers out in the water from up here was a reminder of just how alive and ever-changing this landscape is. Looking back on this trip, it's hard to believe how many different places we've explored. We started in the desert of Smith Rock State Park, where towering rock spires stretched toward the sky and where we had a close call with a rattlesnake. Then we found ourselves surrounded by the green rainforest of Silver Falls State Park, passing behind waterfalls. On the coast, we stood in awe of Haystack Rock at Cannon Beach and hiked through the fern-filled forest to God's Thumb, where we had lunch with one of the most incredible views of the Pacific. Not far from there, we visited Devil's Punch Bowl, watching the waves crash into the rocky cavern. And then there was Crater Lake, where the impossibly deep blue waters took our breath away. Finally, we ended up in the Columbia River Gorge, chasing waterfalls and experiencing that classic Pacific Northwest beauty. This trip has been a reminder of why we love to explore, because every place has something unique to offer. Oregon has it all: coastlines, waterfalls, mountains, rainforests, and even desert landscapes. And while this may be our final hike here for now, we know we'll be back. There's still so much more to see, and this place has left us with memories we won't forget. So for now, we'll take one last deep breath of this coastal ocean air and soak it all in. Until next time. Now that all of our videos from our Oregon trip are out, if you've missed any, you can check them out on our Oregon playlist pinned on the end screen.